But look, the military has done their job. The military has done their job, and I will continue to emphasize that this right now, what we need right now is more of enforcement. The military has been able to recover all the territories that were taken by Boko Haram in the past. So they have been able to dislodge them from all their various locations, and they have dispersed into our societies. What we have been doing is, we go into a territory, we clear that territory, but we don't hold it. And that holding of the territory is not the responsibility of Nigerian military. That is the responsibility of the paramilitary, the police, the DSS, and the rest of them. They have to be able to find out a way that they can put more boots on the ground. And when I say more boots on the ground, it's not military-style boots on the ground. You wear military uniform, police uniform, you go there and you intimidate the people. What I'm talking about is being able to embed the local communities on notice and be able to gather intel, okay? Nobody's going to give you any intel if they know that you're a police officer. So you must be able to disguise yourself in a way that you can fit into the local environment on notice and be able to gather intel. Whatever is happening in Adamawa State is the failure of the Nigerian police to be able to follow up its responsibility. It's their responsibility to hold the territory after the Nigerian military has cleared it. And holding it does not mean carrying AK-47 walking around. What it means is that you have to send your intelligence unit to be able to embed themselves in the various communities and be able to gather necessary intel that will allow you to be able to preempt and prevent this kind of attacks that you're seeing going on in Adamawa State right now.
It is interesting that, this is not, this is about herdsmen. And not terrorism.
Okay.
Even though it will be terrorism in another way, because they're terrorizing the people. But this is not about the kind of bomb attacks that we've seen in Adamawa. This is something that was also preempted. We saw the IG or the Inspector General of Police in Adamawa recently trying to reassure some communities in the wake of attacks and counterattacks between farmers and herdsmen. But right now we understand that these people are now they are putting some communities under pressure and are currently launching an attack on those communities. Was it just an assurance with words? You think that anything really was done?
No, I don't believe anything was necessarily done. And the last time I was here, we equally talked about this issue of herdsmen farmers problems.
Yes.
And I alluded to you that it's much more than security problem. There's political angle to it, and there has to be a political solution to it. Okay. Now, anytime you have cattle moving from point A to point B, they are heading. It's going to be a head-on collision with farmers. So they will clash, and they're going to have this problem that you see right now. That is one part of it. Another part of it is that our borders are too porous. We have to control how weapons are coming into this country and find out how these herdsmen are getting access to these weapons that they are using in conducting these attacks. We need to stop them at the border. That is one. Secondly, we have to find out those local factories in Nigeria where these kind of weapons are being manufactured and shut them down.
Even when you speak to the people from those areas, they always talk about a conspiracy. They believe that there's a lack of political will to counter or to tackle these farmers and herdsmen clashes. Do you sense that from your analysis of what has been happening?
Of course, and I'm going there too. Another way that they can get access to weapons is we have to look within ourselves, amongst our security agencies. See if there is any one of them that is giving them access to these weapons. These are the only ways they can get weapons. They get weapons either by bringing them into the country across the border, or that there are factories manufacturing weapons right here in Nigeria, or that our security agencies are colluding with them and providing them with those weapons. So if we eliminate all these three sources, we will see that this violence is going to go down dramatically. Now, you alluded to the political angle of it. It's all politics. It's all politics, okay? What does it take to have housing policy in this country and implement it? These things are being done all over the world. Why can't we go there and copy one of all these things and come here and domesticate it here and stop the herdsmen from migrating from point A to point B?
When you say it's all politics, what do you mean? What sort of politics?
Well, when I say it's all politics, it's because our political leaders have lacked the will to take, decisive action. Maybe because of votes, when the election is coming up, Somebody does not want to, anger their constituency, okay, until maybe after the election. That's why I say it's all politics, because it doesn't take that long. We've been having this problem for a very long period of time. So why should it take this long for us to find a solution to something that other people in the world have already found a solution to? Why can't we just go to them and copy what they're doing and bring it back home, domesticate it, and eliminate this source of violence that we'll be having in our country?
To the Nigerians who are listening to you this morning and a little worried about security, especially as the Yuletide approaches, what would you be saying to them?
Well, I'm going to tell them to, like Omaru alluded earlier, you are the chief security officer of yourself. So you have to take precautionary measures on your own to be able to keep yourself and your family safe. If you go to what the notices that were put out by the US and UK embassies, the advice there is that you should avoid, places of mass gathering, because, when terrorists strike, they like to use very little to achieve more. So they will look for places where there is mass gathering, where they will have maximum impact. So you have to avoid those places. You have to defy your routine. Stop following. Don't allow somebody to be able to, preempt, your activities. You should try to vary your activities. Maybe you follow this road when you're going. If you're coming back, you follow a different road. So vary your normal, the way you live your life, and be cautious.
Well, we have to thank you most kindly for coming on Sunrise Daily. Bish Johnson. He is a retired U.S. captain and also a security analyst. Sunrise Daily will continue in just a moment. Please stay with us.